All right, welcome back, Wayward Souls, the Double Tap In. And this time we're actually going to talk about...
Let's not get their hopes up too much. You know, we're going to try shepherd's pie.
Oh,
maybe.
right.
Maybe.
Right, maybe.
Good morning.
Good morning. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. So I got inspired by the St. Patrick's Day episode, and we mentioned shepherd's pie in that. And I had told Jennifer night before last, that we were going to do soup and sandwiches last night for dinner, which is typically grilled cheese, grilled ham and cheese with tomato soup, and just good shit, good comfort food.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a touch chilly.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is that when the brisket grilled cheese popped up into our note?
Oh,
or was there another reason for that?
There was another reason for that.
Okay.
The brisket grilled cheese was at Berlin Beer Company.
Oh,
yeah, buddy. We'll touch on that in a second.
Yeah, let's actually do the shepherd's pie. Go.
So yesterday, it's chilly, it's windy. I actually relit the wood stove yesterday to knock the chill off in the house. Plus, there was a little front off the coast, and it was fucking with my head something fierce yesterday. Again, I was eating Excedrin like they were M&Ms, and yeah, it is what it is. So I decided to do a little shepherd's pie, comfort food, and based off of our the St. Patrick's Day episode that we did, I said, I got some fresh ground venison. I have everything I need to do this. I'm going to do it. Now, when I do my shepherd's pie like last night, I make a gravy. I do all that shit. I use sweet corn that we pressure can. Now, we've been pressure canning stuff. This is a side note. We've been pressure canning stuff a long time and have never had a question about the quality of what we've done until last night. I popped the top on a sweet corn, and it just wasn't quite right. Normally, you have to take a church key and do several around to break the seal, and it makes a vacuum noise and smells really good. Well, this one, the lid kind of fell off, and I went, "Ooh,
that's not good."
No, that is not good. Corn was a little brown, the smell was a little off, and I said, "Yep, no, we're not." And that's the first time ever that we've had one that didn't seal properly. So recognized it immediately, which they say you will, and I did.
Yeah.
I went and got a second one. Top was firmly planted and took it off. Smelled fantastic. So we moved away from the other shit. For sure.
You moved away from the salmonella.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And so put the ground venison in the gravy, mix the veggies in with it. And here's where I'm a little strange. I think I'm a little strange.
This is where we're starting that you're a little strange.
For this episode, for this purpose, yes.
Oh, okay.
We've
been doing this. We've been doing this almost a year now, and this is the time that we're going to get a little. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I like instant mashed potatoes on top of my shepherd's pie. I don't know what it is. It is not the same for me unless it's instant mashed potatoes. So I made a big batch of instant mashed potatoes and floated them on top and popped them in the oven and baked it for 350 for half an hour. And damn.
Yeah.
Comfort food 101. Scooped it out, put it in a bowl, topped it with some shredded cheddar. And yep. Normally, I put the shredded cheddar across the top and brown it in the oven. But yesterday I was a little off.
Yeah, I can tell you a little off.
Yeah.
Even in your text messages, I was like, "You okay?"
Yeah. Yep. You did ask. Yep.
Yeah.
And I knew it about midnight the night before that something was up.
Mm-hmm.
And pulled up the weather, looked at the map, and that front line was about 12 miles off Ocean City. And I said, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. So shepherd's pie from start to finish, big fan of doing it in the cast iron.
Yes.
Because you're going to take it and you're going to eventually put it in the oven. And why dirty multiple pans when you just do one? And it's cast iron. Everything's better in cast iron.
Yes, it is.
So we'll take our meat, brown that in there, get all those drippings, all that goodness, throw our veggies in, let them brown a little bit, and then as a part of making our like gravy and all that good stuff, we'll some flour or some baking powder, flour, cornstarch. Yeah, they sit next to each other in the back. And I know that
it looks like cocaine. Who gives a shit?
Right? Except the nose feel is drastically different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. But that cornstarch or flour, work that around a little bit, and then add our broth, create that gravy. And then let that simmer a little bit, let it thicken up, and then go in with the mashed potatoes. And like we talked about in the last episode, when talking about like barbecue sauce, my mouth is watering. Thanks, Michael.
You're welcome.
Why run the risk of the unknown making mashed potatoes? And making mashed potatoes is a pain in the dick.
Yep.
Like, it's a ton of fucking work. Like, I love some mashed potatoes.
Yes.
And I don't make them anymore. Like, the kids will eat the shit out of some mashed potatoes. And Bob Evans mashed potatoes is what we eat.
Yep.
It's like, why not? You know, like, it's that easy. So I could totally see using some instant mashed potatoes or even like a Bob Evans mashed potatoes.
Yep.
Piping it onto the top of that and just be done with it.
Yep.
Like,
now, even with instant mashed potatoes, I don't follow their box recipe. I add a little bit more butter than what it calls for. Mm-hmm. And instead of using whole milk or something, I use half and half. We don't keep milk in the house. You know, if we do, it's evaporated milk is for Jennifer's baking, but we always have half and half. So I add half and half, not as much as it calls for.
Yeah.
And then I always add sour cream to it.
Oh.
Yeah. And so it's elevated instant mashed potatoes. And they're hard to beat.
Yeah.
You know, if we're doing family dinner, I have a recipe for my mashed potatoes that I do. And it's basically, I go when I'm shopping at Grocery Kitty, you've seen the little bags of Red Skin or the little bag of Yukon. That's at the mesh bags. It's got all the little round potatoes in it. I buy a bag of them, pop them in boiling water. I add 3/4 of a stick of butter, salt, pepper, and maybe a half a cup, 3/4 cup of sour cream, and hand mash it. Leave the skin on. It's smashed potatoes. And that's my other go-to when we're having like a family dinner and all that. And I'm not serving instant mashed potatoes like that necessarily. I will because I like them. Yeah. But doing that, I like doing the smashed red skins or just smashed Yukons. Yeah. With using that recipe, it's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we're big fans of like the russet potatoes from mashed potatoes. And like to do that, we're peeling the potatoes. We're blending, boiling, all that kind of shit. And it's like,
it's a pain in the dick.
Yeah. And you make a mess.
Yep.
Like, I've got enough of a mess to clean up anyway. I don't need to add another 5 things to clean. Like, and they're good.
Sure.
But you know what? Those instant mashed potatoes, those Bob Evans mashed potatoes are just as good.
Yes.
Like, I tell you, and my mom will shoot me for this. So, mom, put your earmuffs on. But Stouffer's stovetop stuffing, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm a fan.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Did it again the other night, and all because you mentioned it, and I hadn't had Stouffer's stovetop in a long time.
Yeah.
And now in the past 3 weeks, we've had it twice. And all because I think we were talking about stuffed pork chops or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought it up. I'm like, yep. So I went and got
Thanks, Dale.
I did chicken. So I got the chicken variety. And while I was there, well, shit, I'm not going to buy just one. I'll buy two. I got the cornbread variety. We had that the other night. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just good.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's consistent.
Every time.
Every time it's the same.
The only time it's going to get fucked up is if you don't add the right proportion of water or the right proportion of butter.
Yeah. Yeah. And you didn't say water. You meant broth, right?
Oh, you motherfucker. Son of a bitch.
You misspoke. You meant broth, right?
I misspoke. God damn, dude.
I tell you, I don't remember when it was.
Son of a bitch.
I think I was making couscous. Yeah. I think I was making couscous, and I read on the back of the little container, water or like a chicken broth. And I said, chicken broth?
Chicken broth.
Fuck me running.
God
so we
damn.
made it with chicken broth. And the number of things that I have stopped using water for and now using chicken broth or beef broth or veggie broth or some sort of broth for, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Rice.
Yes. Yeah. Now, rice I do with, I use better than bouillon for my rice. You know, and whatever if I'm doing a beef dish and I use the beef flavor, I'm doing chicken, I do chicken. That's a game changer, Benjamin. That's another reason why I love this podcast.
Right? It's stuff like that. It's that reason right there that we did the group.
Yes.
You know, like I said in the post the other day, it's not that you and I have the answers and that we've cooked everything under the sun, that we know how to cook everything under the sun, because we don't.
Yeah.
And you have a lot more experience cooking all kinds of crazy shit than I ever will, maybe. But you're
younger, you'll catch up.
I'll retire at some point. But we both enjoy sharing what we're doing. We both enjoy tasty foods. And we both enjoy learning more about everything that we're doing. And that Facebook group, that community is exactly what all of this is for. Yep. So when you see this, join the group and then share it.
Exactly right. We're going to educate you a little bit. Hopefully
you're going to educate us.
Or you're going to educate us.
Yeah, one way or the other.
Yep.
Like people are learning, and that's really like
that's all we ask for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. The goal was to develop a community where we all share our ideas and our thoughts, and just like that broth with the stovetop, never would have crossed my radar.
Yeah, there was something else where I did.
But now you said it, and I went, "That makes total fucking sense." Holy shit, dumbass.
Yeah, there was something else where it was like, it said to add water, and I did broth, and I can't remember what it was now. But and this has been a while ago. Quinoa. Do you guys eat quinoa?
Yeah.
And the first time that we made that, which is a long time ago, Rachel's like, I want to try this quinoa. So there I go to the grocery store trying to find some quinoa.
Yep. I was getting ready to say, what the fuck? How do I find this shit?
Yeah. No. And it's not in the oats aisle. It's not in the beans aisle. It's over in the fucking organic health food bullshit section that I didn't even know was there.
Yep. So what, Jennifer, what is this shit? That's not what it says on the label. How the hell How the hell do you get that from that?
Yeah, exactly. So we make it the first time and just use water. And I was like, well, this is fucking gross. And it was some other like recipe that like it was just bland all around. And I was like, no, I'm not fucking eating that shit again. And then Rachel was like, hey, can we try something else with this, with the quinoa? Sure. Whatever. So I start looking at it. I'm like, oh yeah, we're not doing that. Fuck this bullshit. So I did it in some broth. Can't remember. Probably threw some butter in there.
Yeah.
Like
Butter makes everything better.
absolutely. Absolutely. And just went to town and it was better. I would eat it that way. I would not eat it. Yeah. Some superfood my ass. You know what's a superfood?
It's
Beef.
okay. Yes.
Yeah. You know what's a superfood? Chicken, pig. A pig. Let's talk about a superfood. Bacon, sausage, pulled pork,
Bacon,
scrapple.
bacon.
That's a superfood. Yeah. You get all three meals out of a pig.
Not a speck of grain.
Nope. Nope. Yeah. My food eats your food. Yeah.
My food turns your food into poop.
Yes.
Yeah. Have fun becoming cow shit.
Yeah. Oh boy. So let's go back to shepherd's pie, but now let's do a pot pie. And I know we talked about pot pie before, but while we're on pies, how can we not go from a shepherd's pie to a pot pie to?
Yeah, we had the discussion about different regions and what a pot pie was in those regions, which still blows my mind. But
pot pie versus dumplings versus
whatever they call that shit.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with people?
Don't know, man. Don't have any idea.
Yeah. So I can't remember how we did our pot pie or what we talked about exactly the last time that we clarified all of that. But we'll do a pot pie very similar to the way that we do the shepherd's pie. Mm-hmm. So brown our meat, throw in our vegetables, brown those up, the flour or the cornstarch or the Colombian Bam Bam, thicken it up, little broth in there to make like gravy. And then we've done like your Grands like biscuits, and split them and put those around the top. We've done the cheddar Old Bay drop biscuits, which if you're putting a biscuit on top of your pot pie, that's the way to go. Or you also have the option of taking, was it like a pie crust? Like one that you roll out and putting that around the top and baking that off. So I can tell you which one I'm a fan of, but there's also one where you put you do it in a pie crust. Is that correct? Yes.
That's I don't do the pot pies around here. Jennifer does those. It's considered baking, and she's the baking expert of this house.
Copy that.
Her chicken pot pie is out of this world, and it is done in a pie dish, and she makes a pie crust, lays in the bottom, par bakes it, puts her chicken filling, which is basically what you described. You brown the meat, you add your veggies to it, you make a gravy, you pour it in, and then she does the lattice work like it's an apple pie across the top. Yeah.
Why should I show off like that?
Because it's my wife and she's got to. It's just, it's too pretty to cut sometimes.
Jeez.
Golden brown with the lattice work across the top and all this. I'm going to put a dollop of ice cream on it. It looks so good.
Yeah.
And tasty as fuck.
That's
tasty as fuck. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't do it. Because if I'm doing it, it's going to look all fucked up, and I'm not making pie dough, and I'm not.
Oh no, I'm not fucking doing all that shit. Absolutely not. Nope.
Nope. I used to do a beef version with drop biscuits, Bisquick drop biscuits in the cast iron Dutch oven. Would make a stew, drop them in, throw it in the oven, and bake it off, and that was tasty.
Oh, I bet. We did. I smoked a chicken and then tore that up and like shredded it up and used that as my meat in the pot pie. And I did. Yeah, I did the Old Bay biscuits. I was trying to think if it was
drooling.
Right. Fuck. I was trying to think if it was the sourdough Old Bay or just the regular Old Bay biscuits, and I think it was just the regular Old Bay because I don't think I had gotten a starter yet. But the biscuits that I made, the drop biscuits that I sent you, holy cow! Like that, we're gonna have to do. I think those biscuits are better than the sourdough Old Bay biscuits.
Really?
Yes. We sat down to eat dinner, and I wasn't. So when I was making the biscuits, I was in a rush, and I didn't let the butter cool. Like so that you wanted melted butter, you wanted it warm. It was like I had just taken it off the stovetop because I needed to get it going. So I think if I'd have let it cool, the biscuits would have risen a little bit more, and they wouldn't have like flattened out as much. But these flat little biscuits are the best biscuits I've ever put in my pie hole, my biscuit hole. They're phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I knew they had to be good when you sent this and said, share it with the missus.
Yeah.
And so I share with Jennifer. She looks at it and she goes, oh, this is fantastic because we get to use the discard.
Yeah.
And I went, perfect.
Yeah. So it also, in fairness, I have people that want a starter. So we had some friends come over. We went to a Salisbury men's lacrosse game, and then they came over for dinner. And as a part of dinner, I did the Old Bay biscuits for that too. And Rachel's friend was like, are those sourdough? I was like, yeah, I've got a starter. I got it from a friend's wife. It's not like when they were in the process of like, here you go. It was like, no, thank you. I've looked and see how much work this fucking thing is. I'm good. And she's like, no. You're taking this. It's not that hard. It's easy.
Yeah.
Okay. And it truly is that. It truly is easy.
Yes.
But since then, I've made the Old Bay biscuits a couple of times, and she had asked Rachel's friend, or our friend, had asked if they could get some. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, sure. Like, I can't. Like, someone shared it with me. I can't not share it with someone else. So I shared it with them, and then a couple of people at work had asked when they saw the Old Bay biscuits, like, can I get some of that? I mean, can my wife get some of that? I don't want sourdough starter.
Yeah. It's
my wife. Can she get some sourdough starter? I was like, yeah, sure, bro. It's okay. This is my starter.
Yeah. It's when we went from one starter to two starters, occasionally we have three running.
Yeah.
How did we do this? How did it get from, I think I'm going to try this. I'm going to start my own. I'm going to do this. And she started hers from scratch, did all that shit. And okay. Yeah, I can see it. And then Sundays when she's feeding it and separating and having to cook shit, I'm not complaining.
No.
At all.
No, absolutely
I think
not.
It's gotten to be a ritual that Sunday is our, it's not a cheat day, but it's kind of just a free day where we don't really worry about fasting. We don't worry about some other stuff, and we don't worry about the calories and that kind of thing. But we've gotten into a ritual on Sunday mornings that I make French toast with French bread that she has made from her sourdough starter.
Mm-hmm.
And it is some of the best. Now, the night before, I just use half a loaf. I slice it and let it sit out. So that way it gets kind of stale and whatnot. Then I make my egg custard, whatever you want to call it, for the French toast.
Mm-hmm.
I soak it in it until the custard is absorbed, and then pan fry it. It's freaking phenomenal. It all comes from that little itty bitty sour that I'm thinking, what the fuck are we going to do with all this shit?
Right.
And the poblano cheddar biscuits that she makes, the French bread, the yeast rolls, the sourdough yeast rolls that she does, we call them Jennifer rolls, the Jennifer
Mm-hmm.
rolls. She makes two sizes. She makes a dinner roll, and then she makes a sandwich roll that when it comes to a quick dinner, you throw a couple burgers on the grill. We talked about burgers before, and put one on that motherfucking roll. Make a fat kid cry.
Yeah. Yep.
Sit now I haven't right here.
Yeah. I haven't ventured into like the proofing or anything like that. Like that's if you're gonna do that, like you've got to commit the whole day to being available to fuck with this bread.
Yep.
And I don't have that. But these biscuits, let me tell you, I'll fuck with some biscuits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. Well, last Sunday, we wanted to run the boat down the river.
Mm-hmm.
And I was jonesing to go. And Jennifer had already started her bread making process. And part of that is proofing.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 proofs that you have to go through. And then when it's through the second proof, she has to bake it. It's just what you have to do. You can't let it sit for the 3-hour or 4-hour boat ride, whatever we went on. And you come home, you'd have shit everywhere. So anyhow, she lets it proof, bakes what she does, and then we come back and the house smells so good. We back the boat in, we come through the back door and oh yeah, you baked today. I forgot all about that shit. Holy hell.
Yeah.
Well, gotta sample it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, and I can picture you like as she's doing that stuff, you're sitting there in your recliner just stewing because you want to go get on the boat and do the fun shit. But you gotta bake this fucking bread.
Yep. And the smell was killing me because I could smell the dough fermenting, rising, all that shit. I guess it's fermenting. I don't know what the hell it is. Either way, it's getting yeasty and it smelled good.
Yeah.
It's the good kind of yeast.
Yeah. 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 I do want to, at some point, I want to do cinnamon rolls. Because but I think that includes the recipes I found. So when I look for recipes, it's no proof or no rise.
Right.
Recipes. But at some point, there's going to be some cinnamon rolls come out of that kitchen. And
Jennifer does that also. And it is, man. Yeah, she'll do crepes with the sourdough starter. She'll do all kinds of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like you sent the biscuit recipe, always looking for something different to do. Mm-hmm. Although we like the standbys, obviously with the Jennifer rolls, the French bread, all that kind of stuff. We love it, But it's always nice to have other options. And I know that I'm going to see a biscuit probably this week.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I didn't even look to see if it talked about like giving it a minute to. So that's not the one. Where is it? This thing.
I wonder if you can freeze it. If you can make the biscuits and freeze them and then bake them when you need them. because that would be real nice to throw in the freezer and pull out a batch of 4 or 6 biscuits for a dinner to do the stews or a pot pie kind of deal.
The first comment that I see works well from frozen too.
Perfect.
Just lower the temperature so they cook fully inside.
Nice.
Sounds like a great addition and so easy to freeze and keep them for a quick biscuit.
Damn. Yeah, that'd be great. I'll have to relay that information to Jennifer because I know we're coming up on Sunday and she'll be doing her wrecking the kitchen with starter everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Now, the recipe calls for like a quarter to a third cup for the biscuit size. And I tell you, like I can get down with like an eighth of a cup. I just found this measuring cup, an eighth of a cup measuring cup. And that is like the perfect biscuit for me.
Okay.
So the
Makes sense.
Old Bay biscuits that I did when our friends came over, they were a little cooler. So they stood up. So their shape was better. But I think these biscuits would do the same thing that like they'd hold that shape a little bit better. So that's just what I prefer. But like it says, it calls for a quarter of a cup. So and there's more biscuits. Like
sure.
Can you ever not have enough biscuits? No. Fucking dumb question. Next.
No. Damn. Now I want them in the freezer.
Yeah. So, hey, let's wrap this show up here because that's a good place to end. Is there ever enough biscuits? No. And we'll see you next time. Enjoy the show.